invented it to tell Brian how to show how a boat takes care of listening. Edit that out, okay?
It's handyman day.
Edit it out before Brian sees it, all right?
This boat's almost 20 years old and it's in great shape. It's been sitting on the lift for probably at least 3 years, maybe more like 5 or 6. And Raul jumped it off. We put some fresh gas in it and a new battery, and it's purring like a kitten.
Gas now too.
Yes.
We're good. We're good to go now.
I just got a quick question. Am I at work right now?
Hell yeah, brother!
My next job is I gotta get this swing up in that tree using that ladder, and I didn't want to do it by myself. So now that Raul's out here, I've got a spotter, ladder holder, something like that. So if I happen to fall and knock myself out, someone can call and fix the problem. She sat open for 1 year. She sat another year with a tarp on it that ripped. And now we officially have a mess. However, it's not in as bad a shape as I thought. A little TLC and we'll be up and running this summer. The jack on the front collapsed, so the front of the boat was lower than the back. And it just filled up with water. It's like a pond in there. But it's draining now. So, tip number 1, when you store your boat, make sure the front is high enough that any water that does get in it will drain out the back. It's been 2 days. We got the boat drained. It kind of started drying out and rained last night, so there's some more water in it. I'm gonna suck it out with a shop vac. Let's turn this down a little bit. There we go. Much better. Always take the filter out of your shop vac if you're going to be vacuuming water up. It's not good for the paper elements to get wet. Charge the batteries. We got the stereo bumping again. Got to do something about parts of the upholstery that got burned. However, I just want to get it in the water before we go taking it to an upholstery shop to get all this stuff fixed. See what this leather vinyl conditioner does for the seats, but so far it's looking good. I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can. And then we got to start it later on this evening. Yesterday I didn't want to shoot anything until we had figured the problem out. And originally it was cleaning. All we had to do were put the plugs back in the engine. You pull the plugs on the cooling system so the water drains out and doesn't freeze and crack the block in the winter. So we put those 5 blue plugs back in. Checked the fuel and charged the batteries and went to start it, and the fuel pump wouldn't come on. There was no spark. We had several issues that were all tied to something electronic. I don't know anything about fuel injection, so Raul he basically diagnosed it and I helped him. We chased and chased and chased through relays, injectors, coils, At one point, it actually started and ran. We'd shut it off, and like the way we knew it was starting was because we were sitting here BSing after like 3 hours of chasing it, and the oil pressure sensor beeped and the fuel pump came on. So then we pulled the ignition out and hit the key and it started working. However, it stopped again and it wouldn't even do the don't start thing. Eventually, we narrowed it down to the ECM. It's the electronic control module. Basically, 2 big plugs go into this computer and control everything on the engine. Firing, oil, safety, it's all tied into this. It takes sensors from all over the motor and tells it how to run. This little part's $1,100 to replace, and without having an actual scanner to plug in, there's no guarantee that this is the part, so I'm trying to find a company that will at least test it before we buy a new one. After doing some research, I talked to 2 different guys, one in Redondo Beach, California, at OBD Diagnostics, who is going to test the ECM and either fix it or he has a new one. And then I also talked to a guy in Colorado that usually converts these old boats, because that ECM to buy new is $1,800, or to buy they discontinued them, but the guy in Redondo Beach has one. It's just $1,800. So for probably $500, we can convert it to a carburetor. Either way, this thing's gonna run again. It's just a matter of what we're gonna do to it and how much it's gonna cost. Covering the boat was an issue, which is what made it so nasty and may have hurt the ECM in the first place. Tarp does not work well. I called a upholstery shop, and it's about $1,200 to have a custom cover made that'll fit over the tower. Tige also makes custom covers for their boats, but they're also about $1,200. And on Amazon, they had a generic cover for, it's like $105, and then there's a strap pole system that props it up in the middle. You just cut slits around the tower. So for $150, hopefully this cover will fit, but it won't be until next week, so that's also got to be done later. The original plan was just to clean the boat up and get it in the water, which is almost done. I'm going to tow it and park it because it's going to take 2 weeks to figure out these problems. However, this electrical problem with the ECM has been such a big deal, and there's so much information on it online that I'm going to do a technical video finally explaining the solution once the engine is running reliably again. However, you got to stay tuned for that, because today was just supposed to be a vlog, and I'm feeling good. She was had me worried at the start, but I fell in love with that little pressure washer, that little Ryobi pressure washer. Man, it got the job done. Clean this teak wood deck up nice, give it a little sanding, wipe some oil on, and well, this is the end. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon once there's some solution to these problems.